What's up, BenchWarmers? We're here recording for the penultimate episode. That's right, the second to last podcast episode of the bench. Wait a minute, Nico, you're yawning already. Aren't you fired up for Liverpool's search for their Champions League qualification? You're that bored with your team? Did you not see Alisson's 95th minute header, the first goalie to score in Liverpool's 150 plus year history? The first goalie in Premier League history to score off a header? You're that bored with your team?
Yeah, it was cool.
This is the modern fan, Nico, our FIFA 21 online PPP COVID-19 1v1 Xbox champion of the world.
That is one hell of a title, by the way.
Thank you.
And Marco the Interrupter. My name's Diego. A jolt of, I guess, energy into the episode because unfortunately the Prem is winding down, and as it winds down, we have ridiculous. Today was just it proves it, but before we get to that, just ridiculous results that show, at least to me and to the guys on the bench, that the Premier League is the best league in the entire world, because anybody can lose. Marco, anybody can lose, like we saw today.
I mean, that's in every league, but okay.
But I digress. I mean, Bayern Munich winning the league for 9 years in a row.
I mean, I didn't say them specifically, but okay.
Yeah, okay. So not Bayern. Okay, so Juventus, you're getting 7 Scudettos in a row.
I mean, didn't they lose it this year? So you good?
Oh, for the first time. Okay. For the first time after 8 years. Okay. The housekeeping that we usually get.
But you don't mention La Liga because you know that one is actually.
Because listen. I'm saving.
It's not like Man City.
I'm saving the best for last. I want a nice little bit. You're the Real Madrid correspondent. You said it on the episode with Coach. Real Madrid first, Arsenal second. I don't know if someone else is gonna take some offense to that, but I'm not naming names. I'm not naming names. He's not right now on the pod, but we'll get his opinion later on. The housekeeping that we usually do on every podcast episode, you can catch our podcast episodes that are published weekly for you and your listening pleasure on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, be it Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, by searching BenchWarmers FC. Nico, they can interact with us on social media by searching.
You can interact with us on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at BenchWarmers FC1.
BenchWarmers FC1, and every video that is very meticulously handled with care and white gloves. Thanks to our crack producer, Marco. Where can they find them?
YouTube at BenchWarmers FC TV.
And you can also write to us, in case you haven't forgotten, to our email address, benched@benchwarmersfc.com. All right, guys, so we're going to get right into the results. There were some results today. The midweek fixtures for this week were pushed so that every team can have a chance to welcome fans back into their stadiums. I think that's a good place to start, guys. We saw Chelsea fans in the house. We saw United fans in the house. We also saw Southampton fans in the house enjoying their teams and finally seeing, for the first time in a long time, the players that they support and represent. So, Marco, how does it make you feel being able to hear fans and see them back in the stadiums?
I mean, hear them. We always heard them. They had that crappy background noise that they would play throughout the games, which was mostly annoying because it was off. It was like playing FIFA and when the commentators are completely off of what's going on. But seeing them was something different. Seeing them again after a year, after living this pandemic, it felt like little by little we're going back to normal, and that was the normal part. I know that it wasn't full. It was just by sections, and they all had to be separated. But at the end of the day, the fans were there. They were able to appreciate a game or two of their squad, and it felt good. It felt nice, and the sound actually made sense. So that's like a plus.
Yes, it was very interesting to hear the fans jeering every single call that the referee was making, whether it was for them or against them.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I will miss is sometimes it would go quiet and you can hear what the players were saying in the middle of the game.
Yes.
With that you can't do that anymore with the fans on the field present. But I mean, small little things that I was like, I don't care or whatever.
Nico, how does it make
Uh,
you feel seeing 10,000 fans back in the stands?
I'm exactly what Marco. It just for me it felt kind of weird because we were like today I was watching a little bit of the Leicester Chelsea game. Like you know how normally in the top left it would say this game is with artificial noise, but like today it said it didn't have artificial noise. So it was like kind of weird to see that, but at the same time it was like I mean we're almost there, but you just got to keep going. That's pretty much it.
Yes, and fans were in for a treat, and I would say most of the matches, except for Southampton, unfortunately, they fell 2-0 to Leeds at home. United kicked off with a 1-1 draw versus Fulham, which I think my speculation is that it's probably De Gea's final home appearance at Old Trafford. Henderson has been starting the Premier League for the last couple of months, and then suddenly De Gea has played in the league. He's been giving Europa exclusively, so to see him at Old Trafford, the way I took it and the way many other fans would take it, I would presume is that this was a choice made to kind of give De Gea a final goodbye at Old Trafford, a last appearance after dedicating so much time, I think close to 10 years to the club. And it was a treat with a 40-yard belter from Cavani, and then equalized through Joe Bryan with some very suspect defending, to be honest. But 1-1 draw there. We spoke about Southampton's and loss at home to Leeds, but Brighton fans. I really wish I knew a Brighton fan because Brighton walked away 3-2 winners. That's right, 3-2 winners to current champions, Manchester City. And I know, Marco, you were asking Nick right before recording if that team deserved to lose or if City put out maybe like a weak side. Nick, can you answer that question for us? Should City have swept away this Brighton side, knowing that they had a 2-goal lead?
I mean, of course they should have had a 2-goal lead, but Cancelo also got a red card, which sparked some controversy. But after that, we all see the tweets or whatever about Brighton's XG. So I guess they finally cashed in on their XG. So I guess we can say Brighton actually deserved it because of their XG. So, yeah.
Yes, the XG curse being predicted to score way more goals than they were actually given and actually put in the back of the net. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Nick. They cashed in on all that XG luck. Marco, how does it feel in a league to see that the current champions in their very first game as champions take an L? How does that make you feel as a supporter of the Prem?
I don't know, man. I feel like it makes it. I honestly, I feel like why couldn't this be earlier? Why couldn't they've done this or somebody else do it? But I mean, at this point, I personally, even though, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking away anything what Brighton did. Because Man City did actually walk in with a pretty solid squad.
Yes.
A lot of not no kids. Maybe the striker was a youngster. But he has his minutes under his belt. So it's not like they went in saying, "Oh, fuck it, let's just whatever happens happens." No, they win with the full squad, and Brighton deserved this win. So it is nice to see, and it's nice to see that even the champions can be knocked down a peg or two. What does this mean? Absolutely nothing. They already
Absolutely
won the league.
nothing. No, you're right. They won the league. Brighton now have already been secured because the three teams that are getting knocked down are already confirmed. But moving up to 41 points, I think it just, for position purposes, being 15th or a bit higher for Brighton, it's definitely a highlight. I think at least their home fans were treated to a great match.
Yeah.
That Brighton finally showed out and showed them, listen, this is who you've been supporting. This is what you guys been missing. 3-2 to the champions. Who are they? Nobody. And then the somebodies actually came up. I want to talk about Chelsea and Leicester City. Chelsea turning it around to beat Leicester 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. Timo Werner with like 17 disallowed goals thanks to VAR and offside and his arm. I want to ask you guys straight up because I was like, man, in that situation, I have a certain thought, but like Werner scored his first goal and it was disallowed because it hit his arm. It clearly hit his arm. when he makes the motion to head the ball, he moves his arm forward and he knocks he knocks his arm into the ball, knocks it into the goal. He goes crazy. He celebrates. He's like pointing out to the air. He's like running over to the fans. Yeah, I did it. I just scored. Stamford Bridge. Knowing full well that it was a handball. And in VAR time, in the era of VAR, that's just something you can't get away with. So this is my question to you guys. I might ruffle some feathers with picking on Timo Werner, even though the fact that Chelsea won. I'm talking to the Blues fans that we know, to Coach, if you're listening to this. But Marco, you know the ball hit your arm. And you know that there's going to be 17 cameras on you. I'm just picking 17 as an arbitrary number. Are you still going to celebrate that? Or are you going to be like, hey, nope, it's my hand?
Look, man. I mean, yes, I'm going to celebrate it just because. No, look. First of all, I'm going to start off with this. If it was going to happen to anybody, I'm happy that it happened to Werner. For a person that can't score a goal, to finally get one in front of his fans or the fans of the club, and that have VAR come and say, no, you scored it with your hand and take it away, I think that's just beautiful.
Poetic justice?
Poetic justice. So I think it's hilarious, but at the same time, because of that same situation, I still celebrate the shit out of it. Even though in me, I know that I did not fucking score that goal because that shit. I'm gonna see if I can get away with it. But again, like you said, we're in the VAR time. We have 100+ cameras focused on what's going on, and they will see that I scored with my hand, and then my celebration will be cut short. And we'll go back to 0-0 and continue the game. And I'm not gonna touch the ball again, or score, or do anything.
I think it's a good talking point. Nico, what would you do in that situation?
I mean, not to bash on Werner, I would love to
bash on him, baby. Bash on him.
Nah. I would love to have him on Liverpool, to be honest. But I feel like he's just so. I would. But I just feel like he's so deprived of goals that, like, if anything goes off, like off his body, he scored it. His first disallowed goal, he was like miles offside, and he just like his knees on the ground like this. And then the second goal, he just starts doing like Cavani to the corner like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like I think he's just so like deprived. Like that's what I think.
That's
like,
on him
anything
too.
goes in.
Poor Werner.
That's true.
Listen, I do want to point out though a very funny stat that came up, because I will live up to my name as a stat troll. Jorginho getting the winning goal in the 66th minute as a penalty. Jorginho is now Chelsea's leading Premier League goal scorer with 7 goals, and they've all been penalties. That's right. He is leading the squad in the Premier League for goals.
This is a lot.
And every single one of them, all 7, have been a penalty. So I just want to say it out there. If anyone's been wearing a Chelsea jersey and complaining about pens, your leading goal scorer, that's all he's made of. So they're definitely happy, though. They're definitely happy. I will say Chelsea, at least they've cemented, for now, it looks like they've cemented and secured their position in the top 3 to have their Champions League aspirations confirmed. Leicester have a difficult match, if I'm not mistaken, in the final day of the season. They have to take on, see here, they have to take on Spurs at home. Yes, Spurs are beatable right now with Ryan Mason. I think they're a bit of a shambles as far as their team organization, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That wraps up for all the games that we saw today. And some of the other results that have happened since we last recorded, I do want to bring up, and I'm pissed off at this because Emil Smith-Rowe becoming the hero, bagging a massive 19-pointer fantasy-wise, and Arsenal have done the double. That's right, done the double for the first time since 03-04. I hope I got that stat right because it's just off the top of my head.
I believe so.
Over Chelsea. And Marco, you were saying Chelsea really beat themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, any Arsenal fan out there knows this, and any Chelsea fan denies it, but they know it's true too. They beat themselves. They're the ones that put that can't fucking pass the ball back to Kepa properly. Kepa had to do that dive that's to save the ball, which technically should have been a handball, but I mean they had let the play run. Aubameyang was at the right place at the right time, got the ball, saw the chance to pass it back and to the center, and then see if somebody can kick it. And Smith Rowe was there. I mean, Smith Rowe also got lucky because it hit his foot, like he kicked it, but it also hit his own foot. So
Yeah,
that also sent it to the corner. If he would have never hit that, it would have gone out.
would have gone wide. Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. Smith Rowe did score. It's funny because you and I have him on fantasy, but we also put him on the bench for a reason. Which again, I mean, this is how my season has gone. So it is nice to see that he was scoring into to this game, and he's been able to get back into some kind of shape. But I mean, again, Chelsea beat themselves. They were the ones that put themselves in that situation, and Arsenal was just there to take advantage of it.
So we did see another result that involved Manchester City, a 4-3, 7-goal thriller against Newcastle United. Newcastle was temporarily leading them 3-2 after a penalty by Joelinton and the main man, Joe Willock, finding the net yet again for Newcastle. And then City needed to rely on a hat trick from Ferran Torres with an opening goal from Joao Cancelo, who you mentioned, Nick, that there was some controversy in that red card. You want to pick that up?
Wasn't the red card for Brighton against Brighton?
Right, against Brighton, yes.
Oh, yeah. So it was like I believe it was like an over top ball from Brighton onto one of their attackers, and like it was kind of looping over, and as the ball bounced, it kind of like tripped them outside the box.
We were talking
And
about
they just
Welbeck.
gave him yes, yeah, and they gave him they gave him a red card, which I don't know if it was a red card or not. To be honest, it probably was because it was falling right to Welbeck. So yeah.
So the replays and the reports for the official decision was, I guess, because VAR decided that he denied Welbeck of a goal scoring opportunity. And that being said, he was shown a red card and sent off, which I would definitely say that it probably influenced a lot in allowing Brighton to come back. But I'm just referencing that because Cancelo went from 0 this week, and he was a hero last week with opening the goal for Man City. Honestly, one of the deciding goals, because they needed all 4 of them to get past Newcastle. And the other results that happened since we last recorded, at least the ones that stuck out, so we have Crystal Palace with a big 3-2 win over Aston Villa, Spurs beating Wolves 2-0, Everton losing to Sheffield United at home on top of that, which I think was, I was pissed off at that, but just from a fantasy perspective. I want to give some time, though, to Alisson, the majestic Brazilian goalkeeping pseudo god who arose in the 95th minute to direct a beautiful. Honestly, I have to give credit to that header because I think everybody was talking about how good of a goal that was and how it was a glancing header that it came from, unless I'm mistaken, it came from the left.
Yeah,
from an Alexander-Arnold cross. He flashed his head over to the right, switched the ball completely on the keeper, buried it into the side netting, and it was elations from there. Nico, can you explain how exactly you felt after seeing what had just occurred on the pitch? Because it puts Liverpool in a very interesting position, and we'll get to that right after. But what was your initial reaction to that goal?
I mean,
don't tell me you were sleeping, man. Don't tell me you were yawning.
Nah. I was nah. Before the corner, I believe the West Brom goalie picked it up and then like he booted it, and then Liverpool picked up the ball and it was like through the left hand side where Mane kind of dribbled and he got the corner, and then a couple of seconds later I saw Alisson start running up, and I'm pretty sure we all think like they when goalies go up nothing's gonna happen, like they're probably gonna miss the ball or they're probably gonna get nowhere near the ball. And then when the pass went in, I feel like when corners come in, you normally don't know if it's gonna hit one of your players' heads until the last moment. But with Alisson, he was just like in this open space, like no one was marking him.
That's right.
And then like Trent's pass was just like You could see it from the camera angle. It was gonna go directly onto Alisson or Phillips. And to give credit to Alisson, when he went up for the header, Phillips was just like running, just like 50 miles an hour, and I was pretty surprised because like if that's I feel like if that's any other player, they probably get distracted and probably like hit the ball anywhere. But props to Allison because he was able to just guide it in the far corner, and I just went crazy. I just went crazy off the couch. I couldn't believe it.
So Nico went crazy off the couch. Marco, I need you to rate the Alisson goal out of 5 stars. What would you give it?
I mean, for a goalkeeper, I mean, I'll give him the 5, bro. That's a no brainer. He was at the right place at the right time. I believe there was one defender that almost could have taken that away from him. Sorry, not defender, one of his own team members. But he was at the right place at the right time. I don't know if he was looking for him, but he dove not only for that ball, but he placed it at the back post where nobody can touch it. So yeah, man, I'll give that the 5-star rating. And it's a 93rd minute goal too. So those
95th.
are the Leno was this close for one, and then Allison just came in and said, "Fuck no! If anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be me."
Alisson with a fantastic goal to keep
Hell of a
Liverpool's
goal.
top 4 hopes alive. But it wasn't all smiles and hugs, Nick, because I want to bring it up. And we talked about it. Someone sent it in the chat. We were messaging back and forth. Mane with a very strange interaction. Klopp was like, yo,
Dab me up, dab me
dab
up,
me
dab me
up.
up.
He said, dab me up. And he just left him. He left him hanging. He left him hanging hard. And the strange thing is that, cameras are always going to be astute and looking for situations that they can maybe pick up on. And they definitely were in the right position to catch this interaction. Mane just completely dubbing Jurgen Klopp, who wanted to dap him up, congratulate him for the effort. Can you give us a little bit of a backstory as to why you believe that happened and what you think about seeing something like that happen between player and manager?
I think I'm pretty sure the reason why he like aired him and didn't dap him up was because I believe the day before he had Mane starting over Jota, and then like at the last minute, maybe like in training or whatever, he switched it back to Jota instead of Mane. So I guess I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. I think Klopp said it or something like that on why I guess why he was mad. But my take on it is like I feel like I'm half because I feel like it's kind of a show of disrespect because
Okay.
Mane's been shit this whole season, so I don't really see a reason why he's like, yo, I don't see a reason why he shouldn't dap up his manager. And like, for me, he probably doesn't deserve a place in the starting 11, so I don't really see why he's like all mad and fussed up all about. But on the other side of me, um, I mean, I think it's okay to see. I guess when you're like a player of that caliber and at the top level, you guess you want to play. Like when you reach that level, I feel like you want to play. You don't want to be on the bench because he made it so far, and he's a world class player, so and he wants to play. So I guess that's good to see. But I did see people like saying, "Oh, that should make Mane angry," which I totally disagree because I mean the West Brom game he really didn't do anything, and honestly I don't think when stuff like that happens, it really makes players angry. I remember not beginning when the Chelsea game at home versus Liverpool when they lost 1-0 to Mason Mount when Salah got subbed off like mad early.
Yes, yes.
Um,
He was like throwing stuff like his tape and
yeah,
everything. He had a
yeah,
little tantrum.
Salah got subbed off. Um, and then he really didn't do much like after again at Crystal Palace away. Mane got subbed off, I believe, like in somewhere the 50th minute when they're like winning 3-0. And then he scored the next game against West Brom and didn't do jack shit the other game. So I feel like it doesn't really do anything to players. It's just kind of like there, you feel me? But yeah.
Marco, if you were Klopp, what do you do with Mane?
I don't know, man.
Now, Klopp already spoke. I want to make it clear. I'm not trying to stir up controversy. I just think it's a cool talking point. Having seen something like that, it makes me think of, if you guys remember when Hugo Lloris was all up in Son's face and they were like chatting shit at each other right at halftime because he didn't make a run to press and come back. So we've seen that kind of interaction before. Usually the players come out and they say, listen, it's part of the game. Like, we want to see each other get heated up. Like, it's fine. And Klopp said something to that effect. And he was like, listen, like, this stuff happens, and I'm completely fine with Mane expressing himself how he wanted to. But put yourself in that nice ruffled and padded jacket, put the glasses on, put the little cap, nice trim beard. You're Jurgen Klopp. What are you doing with Sadio Mane after getting dubbed on TV?
I don't know, man. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, it is part of a game. I mean, if it consistently happens, that's when it's an issue. But it's one off. I don't see it being a problem. I'll stick with what Klopp said.
You're sticking with what Klopp said, Nico. Are you in agreement? You just let it slide. He's having an off day. It's all good.
I mean, yeah, regardless. I mean, Jota's injured, so he's gonna have to play Mane either way. So it's not like he has a choice. So
Well,
Mane is gonna start whether Klopp likes it or not. So yeah.
right. And I bet you maybe Mane was even licking his lips a little bit, like, oh, that's what you get, boy. That's
You
what
know
you
what's funny
get.
as well? Supposedly Jota might be fit for the weekend. So imagine Mane, he sees like Jota's out for the rest of the season or like the 2 games, like, hey, let's go. And then he sees he might be back for the weekend.
Listen, there might be some sabotage in those training rooms. I just want to let you guys know over at Anfield to be looking out. If any physios listen to this, there could be some sabotage with the workout equipment just to have Jota confirmed out for their last game of the season. And I think that kind of wraps up the Prem. For now, we have some games that are left for this week. They're gonna take place tomorrow, which is Wednesday. By the time this episode is out, we're gonna see the likes of Everton, Newcastle, Spurs, Palace, Burnley, and West Brom all hosting fans at their stadiums. I think probably the most influential matches are going to be the Spurs game and Burnley Liverpool as well. I would even categorize West Brom West Ham, although honestly West Ham are kind of out of the picture, so to speak, but they could still maybe fight for a Europa League place. As we were mentioning off air as well, the last game week, the final game day is going to take place on Sunday. Everyone's playing at the same time. The reverse fixtures are going to happen where everyone that played away during today and tomorrow, they will be the ones that get to host their fans in the last game of the season. And that way, the league was kind of stretched out by like a half-ish, like a week and a half, just so that everyone can have a chance to have their fans back in the stadiums, which is honestly a nice sight to see. But I'm going to transition to an even nicer sight. You know what I'm referring to, Marco? I'm referring to teams like Levante and teams like Celta Vigo and teams like, I don't know, whoever takes points off of Barcelona that happened to sell 33-year-old Suarez. We're going to get right into it, Barca fans. 33-year-old Suarez was too old, they said. Too old. He's got a walking cane. Look at his walker. We're going to sell him for $6 million to Atletico Madrid. They can have our leftovers. And you know we're going to go for? We're going to go for 33-year-old Sergio Aguero because he's 33 and he's Argentinian and he's 33. But guess what? The 33-year-old that we sold is going to potentially rob us of our La Liga title. And that's because Atletico Madrid, in a very late and dramatic fashion, in an 88th minute winner for Luis Suarez, tucking the goal away and cementing Atletico's place at the top of the La Liga standings. We're just going to get into it, Marco, Nico. Looking at La Liga right now and making sure that I don't make anything up and that I get my facts straight, it looks like there's just one situation that's going to benefit
one
a
game.
team like Real Madrid. There's one match left, correct?
One game. So, I mean, Barcelona's out. They have no chance of winning La Liga anymore. Not even if Real Madrid and Atletico lose. They can't win it.
Right.
There's no way. The only one that can actually say something is Real Madrid, but that is if Atletico Madrid loses against Real Valladolid. That is the only way. So this is Atletico's to lose, not to Real Madrid's to win. Yes, they have to win their game, but
yes,
Real Madrid won, I believe, won one and tied one, or won both in the head-to-head.
correct. They won one game and they tied the other. So they have the head-to-head advantage.
So even if it's a 1-0 Real Madrid win and then let's
Atletico
say Atletico tie 1-1, Real Madrid would take it. or Atletico, whatever Atletico does, they have to win it. They can't
They
tie it.
have
They
to.
can't lose it. They have to win it. This is theirs to win, which is well deserved. I mean, the whole season it's been an up and down. The top four has been consistently in a fight. Even Sevilla had a chance in the last couple of weeks to
Correct.
be able to take the title, but they beat themselves. They lost a game or two, which didn't allow them to actually fight for that title. And again, Barcelona just beat themselves too, which is so nice to see.
So we see Atletico at the top of the standings with 83 points. Goal differential does not come into play with La Liga. They use head to head as the first tiebreaker. And since an 84-point margin for both Atletico and for Real, if they score the same points, Real Madrid would pip them to the top spot because they have that head to head advantage. And Barcelona is no longer in the picture. I want to get to Barcelona quickly. You just said it really easily, Marco. It's Real Madrid's to win, and it's technically Atletico's to lose because they are in the seat. They're in the driver's seat. And we're hoping that maybe a club like Real Valladolid isn't going to give them much trouble. But we do see Real Madrid has to play against Villarreal in the final match of the season. Some people are saying that it's very close to the Europa League final, and will Villarreal want to actually risk their players for this match, or maybe even rest them? It's going to be very interesting to see what the 11, what the starting 11 is going to be for Emery and his Yellow Submarine side for this Real Madrid matchup in the final game day of the season. Barcelona losing 2-1 to Celta Vigo, an 89th minute winner by Santi Mina. Clement Langley getting a double yellow, so he was sent off. Guys, I'm gonna ask you guys straight up because I know some of our listeners and some people out there, they're Barcelona fans, they're Messi stands. He is Dios, he is God, he is the almighty footballer, and Barcelona are no longer in the La Liga title talk. Before you fall asleep, Nico, please, just give us an answer. What's wrong? What's wrong with Barca? What's wrong with Messi?
I mean, my dad's a Barca fan. He always tells me, and I watch a couple games, and I just know the defense just isn't good enough. And whenever Longley plays, he doesn't do anything. And also, it's just been terrible acquisitions like Coutinho, Griezmann,
Braithwaite.
Dembele, Braithwaite. It's just been terrible acquisitions from the front and from in the defense. So I think it's just like their team is just all over the place, and they need a miracle really to like save, not
They
just
did
like
it the
they're
wrong.
all everything.
Yeah, they did it the wrong way. I mean, I was watching a little bit of their game against Celta Vigo, and I believe his name is Pjanic came in, and the first thing they said
Ah,
the first thing they said is this is he has started 8 games this season. Everything else he has come out from the bench. That's a big deal because they got rid of Arthur, which is a lot younger, if I'm mistaken.
correct.
And to trade him for basically Pjanic, which is an older, experienced but older player. I think he's in his 30s, 31 maybe.
You're
Um,
right.
and,
He's
and, and,
31.
and Arthur is 25, between 25 and 27. If not, yeah, something around there. So that tells you right there with the mentality that Barcelona has. They went from let's build them from their academy and bring them in to let's purchase them. And not only did they purchase them, but they purchased older players.
Yes.
And we've been seeing that a lot lately. We saw Pjanic, we saw Paulinho. The fact that we're hearing Aguero coming along, and they got rid of Suarez. And then they haven't done anything for their back line. Pique's still there. We know that Untiti is not good. Linglet hasn't been well. Um, the only Alba apparently he can't do anything either. So the only youngsters that I see there is Dest, which I think he was recently brought in. And then there's another kid from, I think he
Pedri,
might be from, I'm sorry.
Pedri.
Yeah, no. Better plays in middle. This other kid that they usually sometimes use, but
Oh,
again,
and defender.
they haven't really done anything with Barcelona. I know this season, and I spoke about it in the past, and Barcelona has gone through a big transition, having their president quit because of all of the drama that he created. The fact that, and myself included, has called out that Messi was basically uh, kidnapped to stay in Barcelona for one more season, because he didn't want to be there. And even if he didn't at the beginning of the season, you can see it. But towards the end, he said, "Fuck it, let me just do something," and he walked away with the Pichichi at least this season. But stuff like that you've seen that has really brought Barcelona down. And now we can actually say as well that it doesn't look like the team is built to play for Messi,
No,
and that they have to start looking somewhere else. And keeping Messi is not the solution. That is just gonna give them more problems next season. Um, so if it were for me, I'd let him go. But I'm not a Barca fan. I don't care for Barca, and if they keep him, to me, it's more funny. So go ahead.
so you're enjoying it. For anyone who
Yeah,
is a Barca fan, we're listen. I have to put out a disclaimer. I know that I have it out against Barcelona and all of their fans, but this is the reality. This is the state of the club, and a lot of Barca fans are actually of the sound mind to say, "Yeah, you're right. This isn't what Barcelona should be, and it's definitely not something that they should be dealing with." So, one of the other leagues that we're gonna talk about is Serie A, because, like I had mentioned in the beginning of the recording, Juve is no longer going to be able to win the Scudetto. Juve is also on the brink of not qualifying for Champions League even. We might see Ronaldo in the Europa League with Juventus, but this was confirmed already a week ago or so. Inter as Serie A champions for the first time in several years, 88 points with a 10-point cushion. I do want to give a nice shout out to Atalanta, who is just killing it in second place right now. They had a ridiculous goal fest over the weekend, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they won a match 4-3 against Genoa with goals from all different goal scorers: Pasalic, Gosens, Duvan Zapata. They've been doing ridiculously well. They've scored 90 goals this season. Atalanta have scored 90 goals, which is the most out of any team in Serie A. Marco, just a few quick words about Inter and their Scudetto win.
I think it was needed. I think a change is always good. I think that the Juve dominance needed to come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
One, to revive the Serie A, which it has in the last couple years, has gotten better. Um, Now that we've seen AC Milan finally getting their head straight, Inter actually trying, and then having a little bit more of a competition between the league. Um, but yeah, man, Inter fucking deserves it, dude. I mean, they did everything that humanly possible to get where they're at. I know that last season they fought and Juve still won it, but that just burnt a little fire under their asses, saying next season it's ours, and it is. And not only is it theirs, but they also have a 10-point clear from second place. So well deserved. But not only that, Juve is out of the Champions League as of right now. I mean, there still is one more game. Um, there's still one more game. But I don't recall when was the last time Juve wasn't in the Champions League. And I
Hmm,
mean, correct me if I'm wrong,
good
Diego. You're
question.
you're the stat troll. I think the last time they were not in the Champions League was 2006, 2007, or 2007, 2008, when they were relegated because of controversies and the whole thing that they went through when they were relegated to Serie B. Um, and of course, when they came back, it took them one season to come back. But of course, they're not automatically in Champions League when they come back. So I think the last time they were not in Champions League was 2007, 2008.
You're right. It was 2007 that they were demoted to Serie B for illegal activities. But we're not going to talk about that because I
No,
know that triggers some
a
Juventus
lot.
fans.
But I'm not asking
Um,
about. I'm not talking about the legal activities. I'm talking. I was referring to them not being in Champions League, and this is the possibility that this year it could happen.
It could happen again. That's right.
Napoli have to or lose, or AC Milan have to lose for Juve to take their place, but Juve also has to win. So, I mean, there is still a little bit of nail biting games happening in Juve just for that specifically. But yeah, man.
It's not on their hands too.
Yeah, it's
Because
not because
AC Milan face Atalanta and Napoli
yes,
face Hellas Verona. So it's not even in the hands. And if Napoli and Milan win, and Atalanta might just say, "Fuck it, we don't like Juve. We can just spew their like a whole like U18s or whatever. Just completely throw the game to AC Milan
Yeah,
instead of fuck over Juve."
that is correct. Yeah, and I mean, can they though? Because if they do that, Juve is only 3 points away from Atalanta. So that would put them in the same points. Now I don't know what's the what way does a Serie A do it if they do it the EPL way, which is based on goals, or do if they do La Liga way, which is based on head to head to define who goes, who passes, or who stays. So Atalanta has to actually come and play. A tie would benefit more Atalanta than AC Milan, but honestly, anything could happen. I mean,
Yeah,
Juve has
it's head to head.
it's head to head.
Yeah,
yes, it's head to head points.
So
Okay.
I don't know what the results were between them.
Okay, so we would have to go back and see.
Destroys them.
And we would have to go back and see what Juve did against Man City. Sorry, Man City, AC Milan or Atalanta in this case.
Man City, Marco.
I mean,
I'm all over the place today.
It'll be interesting to see whether if Inter can like keep this going, because if I'm not mistaken, I did see rumors of Antonio Conte leaving at the end of the season, or Lukaku leaving to somewhere. And we all know Antonio Conte. The one thing he does is win the league. Europe is another completely different, debate or whatever. But he wins the league. Wherever he's at, he wins the league. He won the league at Chelsea, playing Zappacosta, Marcos Alonso, Aspilicueta. I mean, to be fair, he was good back then. But yeah, he wins the league, so that's what he does. So if he does leave, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them.
It will be. And switching gears, Bayern Munich have won it again for the 9th year in a row. Okay, so now that we wrapped up Bundesliga, Serie A, Premier League, La Liga, the top leagues in the world, in Europe, I just want to point out that NYCFC's next home match, just free advertisement, is going to be at Red Bull Arena. That's correct. They're borrowing another team stadium for the second season in a row. NYCFC, get your tickets now for Red Bull Arena. Red Bull Arena is where you can watch NYCFC.
It's unfortunate the way that you make fun of homeless people. I've never seen. I'm shocked, Diego. I'm truly shocked how you can go so low. We're homeless. We're homeless, Diego. This is what you don't understand. We don't have home.
It's completely fine. I have no problem as long as you guys pay rent and you pay it on time.
We pay rent. We're rent free right here, Dieguito. We're rent free
right
here.
You gotta pay rent. You gotta pay the piper. Listen, I'm not the landlord. You gotta pay the front office for your use of Red Bull Arena, which, by the way, MLS has kicked off. We haven't really spoken much about MLS. Very, very slowly, they're letting fans back into the stands. A quick little recap of what's been going on. Basically, Chicharito has been on fire. LA Galaxy is leading their standings right now. There's only been a few games into the MLS season so far. We have Columbus Crew wanting to rebrand, and it was rejected yet again with an awful logo that a lot of people were comparing to a trash can. And thankfully, their supporters group was able to talk to whoever it is that runs the decisions at that club, and they're like, listen, we keep it Columbus Crew SC and we keep it like that, period, which I think is nice to see, at least for a club that values their fans' opinion.
It looks very footballish.
The new no,
The
stop. The
logo?
Well,
new
that's the MLS is.
It looks very footballish.
stop. No, the new logo. The new logo is hideous,
I
man.
mean, it
Stop.
is. That's what I'm saying. That looks very footballish. Not soccer football,
Yeah,
but
like
American
American
football
football. Yeah,
footballish.
yeah,
Like football.
yeah.
Football.
So before I get yelled at for being a hater, I do want to bring up one last league, which was League One. I don't want to leave that out and be unfair to Neymar, the game changer, the GOAT. They are currently in second place, 79 points to Lille's 80 points. It's very much another situation where the leading team, it's their title to lose. They have one final match day, which is going to be Brest facing off with PSG. And it looks like Lille is going to play against Angers. I think that's how you say it, or Angers. I don't know. Still, Lille has to win this match in order to get the League One title. And then afterwards, there is playoffs, which have already happened, I think, for promotion.
It's crazy how Monaco was almost relegated a season ago or two, I believe, and
Yes.
now they're in third place, which I mean,
and it's not talked about a lot. It really isn't.
It isn't. So two things. One, for everybody that's watching on YouTube, here you go. A big YCFC supporter made a big banner says homeless. And two, Atalanta has tied their first game against Juve, and then they beat them on their second one.
Oh,
so if there's a head-to-head,
they have the head-to-head.
Yes. They're ahead.
But that means that Atalanta takes second place. Juve would take third, and then and AC Milan would take third.
Man City again. You keep wanting to put Man City and Serie A.
It's the M, bro. I have issues. Or unless Napoli win, and then there's a whole different ball game. So there's like I said, there's a lot there.
Yeah. Speaking of ball games, you could see them at Yankee Stadium, and not NYCFC because they're homeless.
Homeless. Again.
What the heck?
Homeless.
Shout out to Negav Throgs, the one and only NYCFC Stan. My man's putting himself out there, repping his homeless squads, very much doing him the service of being the number one fan. But that wraps up our recording for the week. Penultimate recording. Are we still going to be showing up? Yeah, there's going to be plenty of football in the summer. We have the Gold Cup. We have the Euros coming up. We have Copa America coming up. We have a lot of tournaments that are right in the middle of the summer that we're looking forward to and seeing all the national sides. News today because Nico, Benzema's back in France. Big Benz is back in Didier Deschamps. 26-man shortlist. Do you think it's deserved really quick?
For Benzema?
Absolutely.
I mean, like you just said it, absolutely. So, I mean, he's been one of the best number 9s in the world. So,
but he's going to be playing up top with the go-kart. Remember?
Man, Benzema over Giroud, man. All day. My boy Benzema.
I mean, I like Gerard. Benzema.
Gerard, yeah.
Giroud.
Benzema deserves it, man. He should have been even in the World Cup. I mean, yes, there was a controversy, but it went nowhere. And then they just decided not to bring him back, and that's unfortunate for him because he could have done a lot for France. And yes, even though France kind of looked like they didn't really need him, in certain instances, specifically the World Cup because they walked away with it, it still would have been nice to see him in that squad. So it's nice to see that at least now he will be able to play maybe the Euros, and maybe in one last World Cup. I doubt it. He's already up there in age.
We'll see.
But I mean, like you said, it's about time, and I'm glad that he's back in it.
I'm glad that Benz is back in the French squad. Will England be able to bring it home? Who is going to win Copa America? Honestly, I feel like all of those teams are in ridiculous places. For the South American side. It's going to be a very interesting tournament, actually, to watch. But we thank everyone for your support and for sticking around with us, making it to the end of the episode. And just reminding you, my name is Diego, on the recording with Marco and Nico, our online PvP 1v1 FIFA 21 COVID-19 Xbox champion of the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
And a simple reminder, we're the bench warmers. This is the bench with a voice, where the bench is always warm. Peace, everybody.